following program is sponsored by PokerStars.com. So far on the big game, after playing tight all week, the loose cannon started to put his chips in play.
Jared, you gonna start gambling?
There's your answer.
There's your answer.
Okay.
And ended last night's session on a hot streak.
2 in a row.
2 for 2.
Beast.
Filmmaker Nick Cassavetes' Hollywood success hasn't translated to the table.
Easy money. One of those days.
And Vanessa Selbst pulled off a massive and concealed river bluff that frustrated the magician into adding on 2 more bullets.
All right, I'm buying in more chips.
Why the big rebuy?
You know, I played this pot with Vanessa, and now I just want to punish her.
I can't think of a worse way to light money on fire.
Tonight, find out if Antonio gets his wish or if Vanessa can use his aggression against him on the big game.
Let's make this a crazy fun episode.
PokerStars.com Big Game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside our state-of-the-art poker room here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Alongside Joe Stapleton, I'm Scott Huff, and tonight the action continues as some of poker's best and brightest battle it out for the nearly $1 million stacked on the felt.
In the 6th hole is Prahlad Friedman, a.k.a. Spirit Rock. He's a vegan rapper repping the boo. That's Malibu. So far, he's been all Hollywood, up almost 40K.
Antonio Esfandiari lost a big pot to Vanessa Selbst last night, but added on $200K at the end of the session. He has over $322,000.
Turn that frown upside down, Vanessa. You're on the big game, and you're poning souls. She's up just over 93K.
Hollywood director Nick Cassavetes has been directing his chips to go into other people's stacks. He's stuck almost $84,000.
This week's loose cannon is 29-year-old Jared Huggins. The Manhattan Beach native recently overcame being homeless with the help of the poker community. Now Jared says he wants to pay it forward by donating a portion of any winnings to charity. They're getting a portion of a bagel at the moment. Jared's stuck over 25 dimes.
And our final player is poker pro Barry Greenstein. After losing an early bluff to Vanessa, Barry's been trying to gain traction all week. He's with Amanda Leatherman.
Barry, pretty tough table out there, huh?
Yeah, very tough. And I've got the 3 toughest players to my left.
Right.
So it's really tough because it means I'm often going to be playing against them out of position. I tried it one time against Vanessa, badly timed out of position bluff, and it cost me $60,000. I haven't recovered from it. So it looks like I'm going to need to pick up a hand to get back in it.
What do you think of the loose cannons play so far?
Well, it's been typical loose cannon play. He's played pretty tight. He's waiting towards the end. He probably should have mixed it up early. I'm sure he hasn't had good hands, but he has credibility. Nobody's going to call his raise, or at least they wouldn't have earlier. But if he waits the last 30 hands to make a move, then he loses that credibility because we know he has to gamble.
So if you were him, you would make a move now.
Got to do it now. Better sooner than later.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
Here are the rules for the loose cannon. Each cannon is staked $100,000. He keeps all profits above the initial $100,000. And at season's end, the loose cannon who's won the most money earns a North American Poker Tour passport valued at $50,000.
Jared's got a long way to get to that passport. He trails the aptly named Gonzalez cannon by over $180,000. With just over 50 hands left to play, I'm sure Jared's first priority will be turning a profit.
We'll begin the night with hand 93. Action on Vanessa Selbst.
Yeah, at this point.
Ace Queen. Raises to 1,300. Ace 7 suited for Antonio.
Antonio reloaded specifically so he could have Vanessa covered. I'd expect him to be gunning for her.
And he calls. Prahlad Friedman, 5 tray. Folds. King deuce for Huggins.
All right.
And he folds. Cassavetes out. Greenstein down.
Thought you were going to 3-bet me.
Not gonna lie, I kind of thought so too. Vanessa would be the one pro at the table to 3-bet the most. Antonio's dominated.
Flop is 8, ace 6, 2 clubs. Selbst pairs are aces, but Antonio has flopped a monster draw.
And just like that, Antonio goes from dominated to almost a coin flip. There's no way he can get away from this, and at the moment, he's crushed.
Selbst fires out 2,300.
Antonio's got a lot of experience with clubs. Right now, he's calculating the cost of bottle service. No, this is a great spot for a raise, though. You're building a pot.
And raise he does to 6,200.
And you could have the best hand already, though it is tough to get called by worse. There's almost no chance Vanessa folds. She knows Antonio isn't likely to give her credit for a hand this good.
She makes the call.
Antonio's got solid equity, but he's going to need some help.
Turn. Jack of hearts. Vanessa's still good.
Now, Antonio is the last aggressor, so playing in flow would be for her to check.
She may not be interested in playing in flow. Bets out 8,200.
This is a very good bet by Vanessa, actually. She knows she's likely to have the best hand, so she's naming her own value, and she's making Antonio pay to draw. I don't see how Antonio can fold, given that there's still a chance he has the best hand already.
He does call.
Antonio said he's done with the club scene, but I bet he'd really like to see one now.
10 of clubs on the river. Antonio makes his flush.
And boom goes the dynamite. Now, it seemed from her lead out on the last street that Vanessa had a pretty good idea Antonio was semi-bluffing the flop, so she's probably puking her guts out right now.
She checks it.
No question Antonio will bet. It's just a matter of how much he thinks Vanessa will call.
And he thinks she'll call $26,200.
It's a big bet, almost an over bet. Vanessa has to try to figure out if Antonio has the clubs or if he's just trying to rep the clubs. This is a nuts or air situation, and I think the flop raise and turn call by Antonio should be pretty big indications that he was on a draw. Still, I could maybe see her making a frustration call. She bluffed Antonio something awful last night, and she knows he's a little salty over it.
Man, she plays good, lays it down, and Antonio's going to drag the first pot of the night.
You could tell she wanted to say nice hand.
Nice hand.
Thank you, sir.
Come on, Vanessa, you can do it.
Nice hand.
There it is. Now, don't you feel better?
Antonio will stack his chips as we take a look at the rules of the big game. Each table lasts exactly 150 hands. The action pre-flop is pot limit, then no limit after the flop. Blinds are 2 and 400 with a $100 ante, all of which is paid by the player on the button. And every player begins with at least $100,000 but can rebuy for up to $500K.
And one change from last year, this season the loose cannon doesn't have the option to return and boost his bottom line. Sorry, Jared, just 1 week in the baller suite. Also, quick word to the wise, they definitely checked the mini bar.
Ace-king for Antonio, raises to 1,100. Queen-3 for Prahlad, out. Cannon, down. Cassavetes and Greenstein quickly fold. Vanessa, 10-7 suited.
Antonio raised, Vanessa's in the big blind. These two have been going at it all week.
Yeah, I'd like to throw an alley-oop to Blake Griffin.
She calls.
Vanessa and Antonio sitting in a tree. B-L-U-F-I-N-G.
What's bluffing? 5 ace-jack on the flop.
Vanessa's missed pretty hard.
Vanessa checks. Antonio with top-top.
He's likely to know he has the best hand.
Bets out 2,100.
She doesn't want to let it go.
But that's enough for Vanessa. And Esfandiari is going to win a pot worth 5,100 bucks.
This round goes to Antonio.
Tell me that one after.
I'll trade you that one for the other one.
The one where she bluffed you 49-7 on the river?
59, so.
59-7, yeah.
Now I know why Cassavetes asked for that salt. It was to rub in Antonio's wounds. By the way, Nick's the biggest loser so far. Burn.
Prahlad Friedman with King-5 offsuit.
Yeah.
Folds. Ace-queen for Huggins.
Jared's using the classic 2-chip pile approach. And when I say classic, I mean no one does it.
Ever raises to 1,200. Cassavetes out. Queen-8 suited for Greenstein.
We're able to get there.
Yeah, step on it, he jumps you.
Re-raises to 4,000. Selbst quickly folds.
Barry's nonchalantly attacking the loose cannon's raise.
Antonio in the big blind with 10-7 suited.
Antonio knows Barry loves messing with the loose cannon, which is probably why he might be thinking about this.
But he lets it go.
Disgustedly.
That hurt. That one hurt.
With just over 50 hands to go and knowing that Barry likes to mess with loose cannons, Jared's best move here is to make a 4-bet, but I just don't think he's got it in him.
Wow.
Oh, but he does, Joe. Raises to 13-2.
Definitely the right play.
Cannon wins.
All it takes.
Nice hand.
Here we go.
Nice little pot for the cannon, but he's still stuck over 20,000 bucks.
King's in the muck.
Good lay down.
Thank you.
He knows where he is.
So the loose cannon pulls off his first 4-bet of the session. You're the man now, dog. Find out if Jared can keep it up and finally beat the big game. Don't go anywhere. The action's just getting started. Welcome back to Las Vegas, home of the big game. Let's check in on our loose cannon, Jared Huggins. Even though Jared's down 21,200, it looks like he may have finally changed gears.
I guess more like he shifted out of park. Through the first 75 hands, Jared had table lows in VPIP, PFR, and pots won, which added up to a 33K loss. But since the halfway point, Jared is putting more chips in play. He's boosted his VPIP by 50% and almost doubled the number of hands he's raising pre-flop. So far, it's working. Jared has taken down 4 of the last 20 hands and appears to be loosening up.
What did you eat, man?
I'm just kind of getting comfortable.
All right,
I really
all right.
noticed the first 60 hands. Some spinach, though. Went back to 8, had some spinach, ready to go.
Well, it only took till Thursday.
Ace-10 for Popeye Huggins.
This is a clear-cut raise.
Oh. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jared.
Nice introduction from the Hollywood guy.
4 tray for Vanessa, facing a raise from Huggins. And calls.
Now, as they know Jared's getting loose, they're all going to get looser as well.
Esfandiari calling with ace-deuce, and Friedman calling with queen-9.
Do it.
Jared has the best hand, but he's in rough waters with these 3 waiting to run him down. It's almost kind of unfair.
4-way action to the flop. 9-8 deuce rainbow, top pair for Friedman, bottom for Antonio, who checks.
Prahlad was not the pre-flop aggressor.
But he bets 3,000.
He's leading out, trying to scare off some, if not all of this field. Jared's got 2 overs, hasn't been the type to float with nothing.
And he folds. Selbst gone.
Tough to fold a pair on the flop, but Prahlad's not likely leading into 4 players with nothing.
Antonio lets it go. And Prahlad Friedman will drag a pot worth $8,400.
The donk bet takes it down.
Flop the pair.
Flop the pair.
Top pair.
Top pair is good.
Well, earlier this week, we debuted an original rap from Prahlad, who goes by Progress in the rap world. The track is so hot, he's created a remix. Enjoy.
Jared, nobody's story can compare to this kid. One time he even was homeless. Now we got a shot at a whole lot of money. I'm at the same table, but it's tough to not root for the homie. Barry Greenstein, been around a long time. Author, Robin Hood of poker, mad generous. I love his style, minus too many C-bets. Vanessa Selbst, law school and a poker black belt. See her on a felt, out swimming sharks like Phelps. She doesn't need the cards that are dealt. Nick Cassavetes, ill director, actor, even writing movies. Ever heard of Blow Out for Dog or The Notebook? I got mad respect. Maybe for his next film, he'll give me a look. Antonio Esfandiari plays sickly. He got tricks up his sleeve, literally. Hopefully today I got the magic though. Make his chips vanish quickly, you feel me though? Then it's me, aka Progress. The big game show, I always do my best. Round up, come test. Peace to the crew too, we couldn't do it without you.
All right, that was the Prahlad Progress Friedman with Big Game Rap coming in at number 1 of 1 of the Big Game Rap Countdown. It's 45 minutes till the top of the hour. Coming up next, it's Scott Huff with the traffic and weather. How's it looking out there, Huff?
Thanks, Joe. Action's on Cassavetes with 7-5. Folds. Greenstein's out. Vanessa's gone. Antonio with king-9 offsuit and the button.
Pretty obv raise.
Just calls.
I like that.
I like you.
I like that.
I like totals.
10-9 offsuit for Friedman. Just calls.
Get it started, the limping.
Oh, yeah.
The limping going.
Limping's one way to price in the loose cannon.
Check.
Huggins checks his 4 tray.
Jared plays so tight, these guys have resorted to limping to get him involved in pots. They also know as the hands wane, he'll have to gamble more with marginal hands.
10-10 jack, 2 clubs, just trips for Friedman.
Pretty much a dream flop for him.
He checks it.
Now he doesn't want to scare off the competition.
Check.
And Huggins checks.
Jared in his 1% equity check. Looks like Antonio's going to semi-bluff the gut shot.
Bets 1,200.
I love it when the pros are trying to rope in the cannon and they end up getting caught in each other's nets. Sorry, Prahlad, that wasn't a fishing reference. No matter what Prahlad does, he's going to look strong.
He raises to 4,000.
Raising might actually look weaker since a lot of folks would just call in that spot.
Just making sure I didn't have a piece of that somehow.
Huggins is out.
Now, Antonio knows, Prahlad knows, Antonio could have been betting any 2 and how strong a check raise looks in this spot.
And Antonio repops it to 12-5.
All right, so obviously Prahlad isn't folding, which means his 2 options are call or 4-bet, and it all depends on how narrow Prahlad thinks Antonio's range is. If Prahlad thinks Antonio's range is wide, he'll want to get more money in now, but if it's narrow, like a hand that has a lot of equity against him, he'll just call and play it safer.
Looks like Progress not interested in the safe route. Raises to 25,000.
We're looking at a post-flop 4-bet, not all that common. In this case, a raise definitely looks more fishy than a smooth call. I'm not sure Antonio can really call, though, since he's not even beating Prahlad's ace-high bluffs. This has to be sending a pretty clear message to Antonio. I'd be very surprised to see him continue with this hand.
It doesn't look to be going away.
It's a nice reverse tell from Prahlad. He's probably overjoyed to be seeing Antonio reaching for chips.
And Antonio calls with just a gut shot.
2 rounds of betting, and this pot is already at 50K.
To the turn, 7 of clubs.
Neither one of these guys can like that card. No one's got a club.
Prahlad checks.
Could be a good card for Antonio to bluff at.
But Antonio will check it to the river. 7 of spades and Prahlad is filled up.
Well, someone's not afraid of clubs anymore. How big will the value bet be? We know Antonio can't call much.
Prahlad wants at least 50,000 more out of Antonio.
This is almost an overbet, but Prahlad's made it pretty clear that he's pot committed. So there's not a whole lot of bluffing that can be done, and no more cards to come.
Esfandiari lays it down. And Prahlad takes down a nice size pot from his buddy.
This round goes to the doctor.
Bluff, show it. Good for the game.
Or keep getting worse and worse for you, huh?
Cassavetes gets in one last needle, which we're going to put on wax. Prahlad Friedman, Spirit Rock, take us out.
Antonio Esfandiari plays sickly. He got tricks up his sleeve, literally. Hopefully today I got the magic though. Make his chips vanish quickly, you feel me though? Then it's me, aka Progress. The big game show, I always do my best.
Welcome back to the big game. Here's where we are after 100 hands. Prahlad Friedman just took 26 dimes from Antonio Esfandiari and is now just 6,000 off the lead.
The loose cannon is 23,000 from even, and director Nick Cassavetes continues to move in the wrong direction. He's down over 85K. He's stuck in a little steaming, but he's been taking it pretty well.
I'm gonna straddle from this position.
Straddle one time.
I might, actually. Next orbit, I might. I might, actually.
It's 800 straddle from here.
800. I might straddle one time.
All right, Huggins might straddle, but Cassavetes has put out a sleeper straddle, which means it'll be live if no one raises before it gets to him.
You start first?
No, he does. If he folds, it's on.
It's regular. It's not the Mississippi.
No.
I don't like that Mississippi.
Not sure a liberal vegan rapper poker player is all that well liked in Mississippi either.
8-5 for Friedman folds. Huggins, King 8.
It's an outside.
He folds.
So it's live 800?
800.
Cassavetes straddles now live. He'll be last to act.
Speaking of acting, Cassavetes plays a total BA in the movie Face Off.
Ace-4 for Greenstein. Raises to 3,000. King 5 for Selbst. Lets it go.
Leave it to Barry to attack the dead money.
Queen 7 of diamonds for the Magician.
Antonio picked up on Barry's dead money attack last time, and last time he was out of position as well.
Check out this neat little trick. He 3-bets with Queen 7 to 8,400.
Presto changeo.
Cassavetes now last to act with Ace 9 suited.
Look what I did.
Cassavetes has a decent hand, and it's the best one, but it's the kind you have no idea what to do with on the flop most of the time. In general, calling 3-bets with Ace 9, not a great idea.
And Nick and Greenstein both fold.
4-betting might have been okay, but folding's just fine too.
The Magician not forced to reveal his tricks. Antonio will drag the pot and pick up 4,600 bucks in dead money.
Knew Barry was using his image, huh?
Yep, look at that intimidating hunk of poker player.
Well, Antonio has certainly created an image for himself this week. So far, he's been bowling over the table with outright aggression.
That's right. He leads the group in VP, IP, PFR, and 3-bet percentage. His aggression hasn't translated into huge profit, though. Through 101 hands, he's only up 20K.
And now it's time to play the game that's sweeping the nation, Couch Cannon. That's where you at home get to play along by only seeing the loose cannon's cards. Jared Huggins from Cali is our loose cannon. He'll start with ace-5 of clubs.
All right, with Jared's rep, he should be able to just raise and take it right here. Should be a pretty easy couch cannon hand.
You're right so far. Joey's raised to 1,200, and Cassavetes and Greenstein quickly out. Action on Selbst, who folds.
I mean, look at that rep. Vanessa Selbst just folded her button.
Esfandiari calls out of the small blind, and Friedman in the big blind. Lets it go.
You and me, Jared? You got anything? I got something.
Okay, I sort of believe him.
So it's Couch Cannons versus Street Magicians. 2 players to the flop. 10-6 deuce rainbow.
Check.
Antonio checks.
Even though it's scary, since he missed completely, a C-bet is definitely the way to go for Jared. It will win so often, especially with Jared's rep.
C-bets it.
Fire, fire.
2,400.
Well, Antonio's not folding.
And he calls.
Gulp. I was really hoping Jared would win this with his rep. I got nothing now. Help. JK.
Turn 4 of hearts.
Now with Jared's rep, I'm going to assume Antonio does got something.
Antonio checks again.
Jared just picked up outs to a gut shot, and Antonio's checked to him twice. Even though I do think Antonio has something, he should bet again.
Check.
But he checks. 8 of diamonds on the river.
Well, it doesn't improve Jared's hand. I don't like where this is heading.
Antonio fires out 10,200 on the end.
This is an overbet, which means it's a huge hand or it's nothing. We know Antonio's capable of firing the river with total air. Let's see if Jared looks him up.
All right.
He doesn't. Lays it down.
I like the laydown. What's Antonio got?
Pocket 8s. He rivered a set.
I think Jared could have won if he bet the turn.
Nice hand.
Thank you, sir.
What'd I tell you? Bet the turn. His rep's tighter than David Banner's jeans. The Incredible Hulk? No one?
You wouldn't like him when he's angry, so the loose cannon makes the right fold, but ends up $3,600 closer to permanently being the couch cannon. Jared's quest for cash continues when the big game returns. And don't forget, all season long, you can check out exclusive behind-the-scenes footage, bonus hands and stats, and clips our censors have deemed too hot for TV on the website. Action continues with hand 103, and it'll be on Hollywood director Nick Cassavetes with 5 deuce. Folds. Greenstein, ace-5 of diamonds.
Here comes that old bear.
Raises to 1,500. Selbst is out. Esfandiari, king 4 offsuit.
On the button. Seems like he's really got it in for Barry this week.
Yeah, shocker, he re-raises to 4,400. Ace, king suited for Prahlad.
This is typically an automatic 4-bet when out of position.
But he just calls 4,200.
I would read a loose cannon the riot act for that, but for Prahlad, I'll just say he's mixing up his play.
Huggins folds a suited ace. Back on Barry, who calls.
Barry may have folded had Prahlad 4-bet. And I don't want to say he's omniscient or anything, but now he's got 2 guys on the hook, and he's got them both dominated.
3 of the best ever to the flop. 6, 4, 10, 2 spades. Esfandiari with a pair, but Prahlad with a huge draw.
Looks like Prahlad's going to lead out at this.
Fires out 12,000 bucks.
Typically, a donk bet means you want everyone to fold or you want someone to raise.
Greenstein's out of the way, and it's on Esfandiari.
Antonio's got a pair, but even if he thinks his hand is good, he's going to hate just about every turn card.
And he gives up. So Prahlad takes it down with a big bet after the flop, winning a pot worth 26-2, utilizing a play we don't see that often, the donk bet.
That's right, Huff, and Prahlad has made a habit of it this week. So far, he's led into the pre-flop raiser 29% of the time. The only other player employing this strategy is the Magician, who leads the table in donk bets. He's led in the pre-flop raiser 33% of the time. It's not a typical play, but so far these two have been using it to their advantage. The term donk bet is a little misleading because it's not always bad. except for when the loose cannons or Phil Hellmuth do it. Then, yeah, terrible.
Ace-9 suited for the cannon.
Same hand twice in a row. Gotta play it the second time.
Bumps it to 1,200. Cassavetes folds, and Greenstein's out. 5 tray for Selbst.
We've got less than 45 hands to go, so get ready for Jared's rep to be worth about as much as a gift certificate to Circuit City.
And there you go, Joe. A 3-bet from Selbst to 4,000. Pocket 10s for Prahlad.
This is a spot for a 4-bet generally.
But he just calls.
Friendly game.
He might be trying to price in Jared.
Well, it's back on Huggins. And he folds.
Typically that's a good fold, but with time running out, Jared's eventually going to have to make a stand. Vanessa's attempt at isolating Jared has failed.
6 deuce 8 rainbow gut shot for Selbst. Prahlad still best and checks it.
Pretty good flop for 2 10s. I'm sure Prahlad would want Vanessa to continue.
Check the nuts. Be a good play.
Prahlad's been all speeches earlier in the week. Lately he's been giving it a rest, but we definitely need some more for the home stretch.
And Selbst bets out 6,500 with her gut shot.
Uh-oh, now you've done it. You made her bet it.
Call.
I like these battles.
Friedman just calls.
Vanessa versus Spirit.
Vanessa does not seem amused.
To the turn, 9 of diamonds. And Friedman checks again.
The 9's no help to Vanessa, and while it does complete some draws, it's a pretty safe card for 10s. Vanessa's now double gutted, but I don't think betting here will do much good unless she's going to triple barrel.
Checks to the river. Here it comes. 8 of diamonds. Friedman still best.
It may look like a nothing card, but top pair on the flop is now beating Prahlad.
And he checks. Back on Vanessa.
Well, Vanessa's got 5 high. Oh man, Vanessa's so sick.
And she bets 16,600 with the 5 high.
Now, I'm not the guy in the hand right now, but to me, this should be a pretty easy call, even though top pair on the flop did end up becoming trips. Maybe Prahlad's hesitating because of the play on the turn. He could think if Vanessa were bluffing, she would have triple barreled and not checked the turn. Still, it's Vanessa Selbst. You have an overpair to the board, and you're getting better than 2 to 1. All comes down to how often Prahlad thinks he's good here. Against Vanessa on the button, I think he's good awfully often.
I should raise huge. I don't think you have any of that.
Just play it cool, Vanessa. He doesn't have anything on you. He's reaching. Don't give him anything.
You bring joy to my
It'd
life.
be hard to call with, like, kings if I raise bigger.
Not as hard as it would be with Vanessa's hand.
You raise the under the gun razor. I can't help myself.
Not what Vanessa wanted to hear. It looks like Prahlad's counting out a call.
Nice rack focus. Did Cassavetes direct this?
Prahlad folds.
Wow.
The bluff works.
Overpair.
You mucked an overpair?
No.
You're a sicko. I think she would have value bet 2 7s there.
She might have.
She might have value bet 2 7. She also might have been bluffing with 5 high.
It's a big laydown.
That is a monster laydown. That's why you're Spirit, you know?
Spirit got bluffed.
I'd have paid her off with an ace, you know?
I think I speak for Vanessa when I say...
So Vanessa Selbst pulls off yet another river bluff and continues to baffle the boys club and take their money. Coming back to Las Vegas with more big game right after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas and the big game, where we just saw Prahlad Friedman lay down the winning hand in a big pot to Vanessa Selbst. Vanessa had the right read on the river, and she explains her thinking as we take you behind the poker face.
So in this hand, this is what you call a love lane war. I only make this play because I know Prahlad's a very good player. Basically, the loose cannon open, and I had been super tight, especially especially my buttons, I was just getting literally no cards at all. So I just decided that I was gonna re-raise this no matter what came, and I was gonna bet the flop and probably take it down because the loose cannon has either been folding to re-raises or he would call and then check fold a lot of flops. So it's a very profitable spot. So I re-raise. Prahlad flat calls, and I think when he flat calls, he's either got a hand like ace queen or ace king, or a hand like pocket tens, pocket jacks, pocket nines, something like this. He could also have a hand like king queen suited if he's really trying to mix it up, but I thought more likely he would muck that hand. And the loose cannon folds. 8-6-2 rainbow comes in the flop, and I have a gut shot, and that's it. He checks to me, and of course his range is very strong here, but I have two options. Either give up and pray for a 4, or try to take him off of what's probably a middle strength hand. And I think I'm only trying to do this because I've actually been playing pretty tight and have a pretty tight image. And while I did re-raise the loose cannon, he still raised under the gun, so my range for re-raising him is a little bit stronger than normal. So I make a continuation bet, and he calls. The turn is a 9, and he checks. At this point, I could keep betting, but I think it's pretty hard because if I bet here, first of all, he could very easily have a set, like a set of 9, set of 8, set of 6, something like this. Also, I thought if he has 7s or 10s, there's a chance he might even turn it into a bluff because we're deep stacked to try to take me off a hand like kings or aces or queens. So I didn't want to risk that, especially since I have 5 high. So I thought it was mostly prudent to check. I have a double gut shot. If a 7 comes or a 4 comes, I have a straight. And I thought I could represent something on the river, and the river is a board pairing 8. At this point, he checks again. His hand is pretty much face up as either pocket 10s, pocket 7s, or ace high. He could have a boat, but it's unlikely, especially when the 8 comes to the river, because now there's only one combination of 8s, and that's quads. So I think most likely he's got a hand like 10s. This is where the leveling war comes in. It looks like he has 10s. He knows that I know that, and I know that he knows that. So it really just comes down to, does he think that I think he's gonna fold? And I just thought, you know, if I bet something like 11-5, 12-5, that he would definitely just, you know, make a crying call. But I just thought by making a $16,000 bet, it was, you know, close to the size of the pot, and it really looks like I was pot controlling on the turn, meaning I was checking with a hand like kings or queens to try to get value from the river. So I thought that that's what he would put me on, and he folded, and that was it.
Typically, I like to make jokes out of these, but all I can say is Vanessa Selbst knows a lot about poker. That move was the poker equivalent of bending it like Beckham.
Maybe I should have bet it. That was like a nitty play by me there.
The needle meter was pretty high there.
Yeah.
I heard that about you, that you're a nit.
Sometimes. On that hand.
Trying to out-knit each other today.
Oh, all right. I like that statement.
You know, nit's a word that nits use amongst themselves to empower each other, and for non-nits like Vanessa, Prahlad, and Antonio to joke around about it, that's just really uncool.
Action will start on the magician. With bullets. Not impressed. Penn and Teller can catch them in their teeth.
Let's see how the nitty nit plays these aces.
Raises to 1100. 8 tray for Friedman. Folds. Huggins. The cannon. Ace-6.
Jared's reaching for chips. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O.
And that is a 3-bet from Huggins to 3,600.
Yikes.
Snowman for Cassavetes. Calls. And 2 9s for Greenstein.
What is going on here?
And he calls.
Like
Queen deuce for Selbst. That's not a pair.
That was a straight
She'll
hustle
fold.
by me.
What a dream spot for Antonio. Jared's 3-bet is terabad. Ace-6 is not a re-raising hand, and he cold 3-bet an under-the-gun razor.
And it's just become a 4-alarm dumpster fire for Jared Huggins. Esfandiari re-raising to 18,000.
How much is the pot?
Oh, no.
Maximum is 62.2.
Why is he asking that? He should not be asking that. Jared has one of the worst hands in the entire deck to beat aces. Antonio must be using magic. It's the only explanation.
And Huggins folds.
Nick's now in last place and getting bad odds to call.
By full.
He's done with it.
Barry, smell you later.
What else is new?
So Barry wisely gets out of the way, and Antonio will pick up almost 12K in dead money with his aces pre-flop.
Antonio. Animal.
Jared, why you tease me like that, huh?
I thought about it. Did you want to go in with that one?
If he re-raises, I don't know what I do.
Yeah, right.
You have like what, 60, 70K?
68.
I'd probably call you.
Staves, can we get a statistic on the number of pots that Antonio has won?
Of course, Vanessa, anything for you. As we take a look at the pot's won percentage pie chart, we see Antonio Esfandiari has the biggest slice, taking down a whopping 39%. That's 44 of the 112 hands we've played so far, but winning pots doesn't always equal profit. Vanessa, you are still on top of the profit leaderboard, even though you've won just 12% of the pots.
He should be up a lot more, I think, given
I should be up a lot more.
given the percentage of pots that he's
I donk it off to
won.
you guys. That's what I do.
First, Vanessa bluffs the chest hair off of him, then she rubs it in his face. My kind of woman.
Antonio hasn't donked it all off yet. He's up 47,500. And the action will start here on the director of Joe's favorite movie, The Notebook.
I've actually never seen it, but you're married, so guaranteed you have.
Nick Cassavetes with Jack 10 of spades.
Easy raise.
Raises to 1,100. Greenstein out. Selbst 8-7. Lets it go.
Against you, you never have anything.
It's true. It's really hard to make a hand.
5-4 for Antonio.
Made a hand against you, and then you just bluffed me out of the pot.
Re-raises.
10 of clubs river, bam. Easy bluff card, you know it.
Friedman folds over to the cannon with Queen 3 suited. Folds. Cassavetes calls 1,900.
Cassavetes has been taking a bath this week, stuck and very likely steaming.
To the flop. 5-8-10, 2 spades. Cassavetes with top pair and a flush draw. Antonio with just bottom pair.
Things are looking up for Nick.
And he checks.
That's right, keep looking like you're steaming. Antonio with bottom pair would be the best hand fairly often.
Bets 5,100.
Nick might be thinking about a raise.
I raise.
He was.
Antonio wondering, just like me, how much is it going to be, Nick?
Raises to 21,100.
It's a pretty big check raise. Could be meant to look like he doesn't want to get called, and it's probably in line with something someone who's steaming might do. Nick trying not to give off any tells, maybe giving off a huge tell. Angle shoot.
16,000, huh, Cassavetes?
That was pretty dirty.
I really think I have the best hand.
You don't.
But I want to be invited to your game.
Antonio folds.
You can wait outside with Corey Feldman.
I give it up.
That easy.
Nick Cassavetes takes down a pot of over 33,000, while Antonio's piece of the pie gets a little smaller. Jared Huggins' piece still looks delicious to the pros. We're coming back with more poker action right after this. Welcome back to the big game. Scott Huff alongside Joe Stapleton as we continue the action with hand number 116. Poker legend Barry Greenstein looks down at King 10. Raises to 1,500. Queen 10 for Selbst.
She's dominated.
And senses it. She folds.
What a bizarre fold for Vanessa. Nice job.
Esfandiari calls. 6 trays suited for Prahlad.
Prahlad's on the button. Checking out Barry's stack.
And folding. Loose cannon. 8-7. Lets it go. And Cassavetes will not play.
Antonio's drawing live, but we know at least one queen's been folded.
Me and the doctor? Do I get a book if I bust you, Barry?
You already did.
Oh, yeah.
4-5 king rainbow. Barry with top pair and quickly fires out 2,200.
It's a C-bet.
One thing about Barry, he's so popular. The only time I ever got a book, someone stole it right at break, just like that. Just took it off the table.
It's just a hot item.
Wonder if Barry's book said Antonio should float with queen high.
Turn jack of clubs. Esfandiari with a pair now, and Barry checks again.
Huff, is that why the copy of the book you gave me said to Vanessa?
River, king of hearts, trips for Barry.
Great card for Barry, both for the obvious reason and how it didn't change the board much for Antonio.
Bets out 7,000.
Man.
This sick hand.
You really check a king on the turn, huh?
He sure did.
Got it in with ace high for like 200 big blinds.
That's why he's a poker legend.
Barry, I hate to pay you off. If you check the king on the turn, I guess you deserve it, but what can I do?
He was nice enough to do it, though.
Antonio makes good. Calls 7,000, and Barry shows him the bad news.
Felt like it.
Yay. Is that the sign?
Win a pot. Nice
Huge,
job.
huge pot.
There you go.
Barry's so excited to win a pot, he can't even form a sentence.
Why do I call when I know I'm beat?
So with that pot, Barry adds almost 12,000 to his stack, but he's still down over 52 dimes.
Oh, you want to do one round of straddles, Jared? No pressure, but it's good for you.
So yeah, let's do a round of straddles.
All right, let's go. Start it. One round of straddles.
Round of straddles.
Round of straddles. Everyone's doing it?
Everybody's doing it.
I'm just lighting money on fire, but whatever.
Come on, it's good for the game.
Selbst starts in the straddle for 800, so action's on Antonio with pocket sixes. Just calls.
Every time Antonio loses a pot, a round of straddles gets suggested.
Friedman folds.
It's like there's a correlation.
Action on the cannon with just 34 hands left to play. King 10 offsuit.
Like to see Jared raise it up here.
He does have the button. And he raises to 2,500.
I like it.
Cassavetes mucks. Greenstein out. And Selbst in the straddle.
Enjoy yourselves, gentlemen.
Folds.
That's lame. You got to defend that straddle with 6 tray.
Esfandiari's made the call, and it's Huggins and Esfandiari to the flop.
These two are a coin flip if we see all 5 cards.
Deuce, king 7, 2 clubs, cannon, pair of kings.
And he's in position, so that should help. Antonio is supposed to check to the razor.
Would rather try to intimidate the cannon, bets 3,300.
He donks it again, just trying to take it down without a fight. Don't think it'll be so easy this time.
Huggins makes the call.
Got everybody rooting for you, Antonio.
I can see that.
And we're on your side, buddy.
Jared, does anybody have a sign that says Jared, Jared?
We're on your side, buddy.
Get some cheerleaders out here or something?
Between Jared's call and the needling, Antonio may just shut it down from here.
Turn, deuce of hearts.
Got all those millions of people at home.
Go,
rooting
Jared.
for him.
He's our man.
Who are you rooting for, Amanda?
Jared.
Okay.
Wow, just that quickly.
Check.
Checks around.
Marcus, who are you rooting for?
Next card, please.
Just rooting for the next card to come out.
Wow, Antonio's all business.
River, 7 of diamonds. Esfandiari checks.
This spot's a little thin, but you're going to have the best hand so often that betting is still the optimal play.
Check.
Buddy checks. And the cannon shows the best hand.
And Antonio wants the dealer to deal the next card, please.
Popped it up with the king 10.
So calm.
Calling for shit. I know.
Nice answer.
Nice hand.
So the loose cannon may have missed a bet on the river, but still ends the night by scooping a pot of over 13,000. He finishes the session down 26,600 and will have just 33 hands left to try and turn a profit.
But speaking of profit, Vanessa Selbst continues her reign atop the leaderboard. She finishes the night up over $80,000.
4 shows down, 1 to go. Our loose cannon Jared Huggins still has a lot of work left to do to turn a profit. Plus, 5 ultra-aggressive players continue their fight for nearly $1 million in cash. Join us tomorrow night to find out how it all shakes down. I'm Amanda Leatherman saying goodbye for now, and remember, if you've got the cash and the guts, there's always a seat open at the big game. Good night, everybody.
The way things are looking, we could be gearing up for a very bluffy finale. Or will we? Am I bluffing? And tomorrow night on the big game, after waiting all week for a hand, the loose cannon finally gets his wish.
All in.
That's my man. That's my man, Jared.
Good luck. Good luck to you, sir. Seriously, good luck.
Will he double up or get sent packing? And Vanessa Selbst attempts one of the riskiest bluffs in big game history.
4,000. 16. Race. 35. 106.2.
Will her streak of successful bluffs continue, or will she finally get caught? That's tomorrow night on the big game. The preceding program was sponsored by PokerStars.com.